Morning, Ralph. I hope you're well. Obviously, 4 games since the last international break, only 2 points dropped. What's pleased you most about this run, and what's impressed you most about the performance of the team?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that can impress you if you want, or you better focus on the things they haven't been perfect so far. So I'm more used to the energy of thinking what we can do better than of thinking of what we still do good. The fact is that every part of our game looks on a higher level now than in the beginning of the season. This was necessary, definitely. And in the end, it gives us more chances to be competitive. And I think, especially in the last game, we showed some good actions in front. The game with the ball in general was not so perfect. I think the good message is, even if you don't play a perfect game, we can win games. And this is a good message because it shows you that the quality level is a higher one now.
Obviously, the 2 home games been particularly strong, both defensively as well as recording wins. Newcastle haven't lost a game away from home this season. Why do you think that is? What has changed about the way they play?
Well, I think they tried a lot of tactical variations so far, and the shape was always changing. And now I think they have found a shape, but they get more stabilized and more compact, conceding not so many goals. I think it was the key of taking more points. And yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit longer in the season to find the right shape, and then you stick to it, and then it works.
And just finally from me, obviously there's an international break coming up again, given your run of form. How concerned are you that players could be either injured or affected, as we saw in the last international break, by the coronavirus? And does it come as a bad time for you?
Yeah, definitely, because we have now very tough restrictions about traveling and everything. And for me, but I mean, it's not about the traveling and to go somewhere else. It's more about coming together with other players from all over the world, and you are suddenly in a new bubble, if you want, and that causes automatically, a spreading of your social contact. And as long as we have also Champions League teams that are traveling around Europe, but it's always the same bubble you are working on. But when they are spread it to other or to other teams, then the risk is a higher one. And we always speak about minimizing the risk that we can still continue playing. And in the last international break, we had also a case of being tested positive, what caused us missing a game for Stewie Armstrong. And in the end, we really don't see the necessary of these international games in the moment.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Olivia at PLP.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Just quickly ahead of that Newcastle game, you had a few players go off in the last game against Aston Villa. What are the fitness of Danny Ings, Bednarek, Ryan Bertrand, and are there any more injury concerns?
Yes, we have a lot of injury concerns at the moment, and I think the last game was definitely a very tough one, and I think also sometimes beyond the edge what is okay for me, because we had few brutal tackles in this game, and we stood the fight. Yes, we won this game, but we paid a high price, I think. And we have a lot of injuries in the moment, and this is what caused me the most heartache. Headache. This is a word. And this is, I think. We had a tough game, and I think it was not always under control, also from the referee side. And this is what the result is now. Five players, they have big issues. Yeah, Jan Bednarek, don't know if he can train today. It was a horrible crash on the ground, and Ryan Bertrand is out maybe for the weekend. Then Diallo had get a dead leg and a hard kick. So And yeah, the worst thing is maybe Danny Ings, because we said after the game we hope it's not that worse, and we are happy in an unhappy situation, to be honest, because it could be much worse. When you see the scene, it is horrible to watch, and yeah, in the moment it looks that he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. He will get a surgery tomorrow morning, a small one, hopefully, but it is one, and that means that we don't have him for the next 4 to 6 weeks. It can be worse, as I said, but is out, and this is sure not a good news for us.
Well, one player who is fit is Theo Walcott, and he's had a really positive impact since coming in. How important is it having such an experienced winger come in to help, those young, inexperienced players that you've got, and that you're so famous for producing?
I mean, when he's coming in the team, he still must immediately learn a lot of things, because we do things different. And what is really pressing from his side is the workload. I'm not sure if he can always push him now to the next game. I think the first two games were very intensive for him, and now the next comes 3 or 4 days later. So we must pay attention also, because he's not used to the intensity of the game we want to play. But against the ball, it was a fantastic game. With the ball, I'm sure he can do it much better. He had a few ball losing I don't like, but I think he learns very quick, and he must get more confident on the ball. And with all the exercises we do, I think he will do this, and he will become stronger also in this part of the game. And then it's definitely a player that can help us, and this is why we try to sign him.
And just one last question for me, Ralph. Of course, we're only 7 games in. You can go top with a win against Newcastle. If any team is going to do a Leicester 2016, do you think this is going to be the year, considering just how open the Premier League and football is this season?
No, because in the end, this is not, I think in the future, not possible anymore, because the top teams are simply too strong and too consistent in their performances, and the squads they have are, for this tough program, much more, used to this way of consistently winning. So for us, it's also not about looking to be top of the table. It's about having another chance to take points consistently. The sooner we have the points, the better it is. But yes, we want to still play on our highest possible level, and if we do this, there's no reason why we shouldn't win the game on Friday evening. And this is the goal, and we have shown some fantastic performances in the last weeks, and I want to show that we are still hungry, and we still want to make the next step. And I think this is the only way to be motivated.
Perfect. Thank you, Ralph.
Okay, we'll go to Adam Blackmore at Radio Solent.
Ralph, good morning to you.
Good morning, Adam.
That's not good news about Danny. The initial prognosis from the club on Monday morning was it was a favourable first scan. What's happened to him that's obviously either wasn't spotted on Monday or has worsened? What is the actual problem?
No, the scan was exactly, and the message was exactly what we thought. We must have a look. The scan was not too bad. It showed a little issue with the meniscus, and it could be an older situation or injury or a new one. And we started running yesterday a little bit, like jogging on the pitch, and the knee was then a little bit swollen afterwards, and he had pain. It was definitely a situation where we immediately stopped that it doesn't get worse, because it doesn't make sense. And then it was clear that we had to have another look, and then we decided to go for the surgery, because I think it's the safest way to have a 4 to 6 week break only, if you want to. Huh?
And it's not related to his historic knee problems. It's not something. Okay,
no.
That's
the historic knee problem is not the issue. So as I said, it's a small surgery, but a necessary one. But it is one, and hopefully it's not getting worse than this.
Now you've got to replace him then, which isn't easy given how brilliant his form has been for over a year. How do you decide who gets the nod? Because not only do you have other strikers, but Theo Walcott has spent a good time of his career playing as a forward.
Yeah. I think in the offensive positions, we have a lot of alternatives. There are some young lads also showing up. We have a few guys waiting for coming back in the team, ready, Longy. So there are opportunities there for me, definitely. I have a session today in the afternoon. I will try a little bit. To be honest, on the left back position, I have a bigger issue because Jake Wilkins is also injured, and when Ryan cannot play, I think there I have more to think about what I do there, because my nominal left backs are out. And then, yeah, it's a new situation, and we must find the right decisions. And like always in football, it's things can change so quickly, and this is the energy we use now in the next 48 hours to find the best squad to compete against the strong side. And so, yeah, this is the work we have to do now.
You did say earlier that Ryan Bertrand might be fit. Is he still got a chance of playing? Just to confirm, he's not actually officially out yet? Or?
Yeah, he has a low-grade injury on his hamstring, so it definitely, I think, wouldn't make so much sense at the moment to take this risk, because afterwards we have a 2-week break, and then we have a lot of fixtures, as you know. And especially on this position, it's important that he's fit. And so maybe we will not take the risk, but when he decides that it's okay, then we can do it. But I must speak with the player. I must have a look how we have another 2 days to go, and then we can decide.
Okay, thank you. Newcastle, the match. You've played them 3 times. You've not got many good memories of your games against Newcastle. You were very frustrated when you were in charge of the game up there last season when they came back, having brought Andy Carroll on. You had a bad home game when Musa got sent off early and lost late on at home in March. It was the last game with fans, of course. Why have they been a difficult opponent for you? Because you haven't been able to beat them yet in your 3 games.
Don't know. But fact is, we had a few opponents last season where we took no points. So good challenge for us to show that we are better now, and to show a reaction. And best motivation that you can get is to, like against Burnley, it was the same. We have never won since I'm here against them, and we have a clear message for this season. All the teams we have not taken points so far, to do it better this season. And let's have a look how far we are in our development, if we are still not able to take something or can turn the table this time.
What are the positives you take into the game then? You obviously had a bad week with injuries, but you did score 4 goals away from home last Sunday. What are you happy about going into the match with your squad and your team and the way they've played?
I mean, you know, our general atmosphere during the week is always a very, very focused one, and we are not either not happy or too comfortable on what we're doing. We have learned that in our situation, it's always good to keep both feet on the ground, because only then we are sharp, only then we are hungry, and only then we perform well. And this is the reason why we try not to be too enthusiastic. When you speak about we can climb on position 1, yes, it's fantastic, but to be honest, it's not really a topic in the daily work for us. It's more a focus on what we haven't done that good in the second half last game, and what we can do much better. And I think we can play much better. And this is to fully focus on. And this was the message also yesterday in the debrief, that we must, especially with the ball, have a better game management. And this is definitely a topic today in the session. And then we have tomorrow another session, and then we go in a tough home game and want to make a better game.
Okay, we'll go to James at TalkSport.
Morning, Ralph.
Good morning.
Ralph, it's obviously such a huge blow to be without Danny Ings for 4 to 6 weeks, and you said you've got a number of alternatives and there's opportunities there for players, but do you feel you have the players to be able to cope with what is such a big blow?
Yeah, I mean, we lose a player that scored, I don't know, 25 or 6 goals in the last 12 months or whatever. Yeah, it's never nice to lose a player like this, but I think we can we can definitely say that we are more than only Danny Ings. I think we scored also in the last game 3 other goals, so it's a big loss for us that we don't have him. But I think it's important now for the other players to give us alternatives. I mean, nobody has to play like Danny Ings in a moment. It's not possible, but also not necessary. Every player who comes on the pitch should play his best possible game, and then we bring him in a position where he gets his strength on the pitch. And this is maybe looks a little bit different then, but this is not the issue. The issue is when you don't perform how you can, and that's the reason for us to look what player in the moment gives us the best form. Not the best talent, because we have a lot of talented players, but who is in the best form in the moment, freshest, and then we will adapt the game that he can bring his strengths on the pitch. And this is the challenge for us, for the staff, and in the end for the team to show that even if we have 2-3 changes in the team, we can still be competitive, and this is what we want to do.
Nathan Redmond missed out on selection on Sunday. How's he responded in training so far this week, and what does he need to do to get back to the level which saw him win Player of the Year 2 seasons ago?
I mean, the first thing, I think he must show that he is able to have this quality what he has shown so often in our team. I think he is a player we definitely need in his best level. When he performs on his best level, he's definitely a threat for every opponent, and we must bring him there where he has been before the break, before the summer break. And when he's fit, I'm sure he will be absolutely able to give us a lift again. And this is what I hope, that this comes sooner or later. And when he's there, then hopefully he can show that he's part of the first 11, and this he deserves to.
And just finally from me, Ralph, we saw James Ward-Prowse's threat from free kicks, from corners at the weekend. How much time does he spend practicing on his set pieces? And is it something that you work on closely with him as a coach, or is a lot of it James teaching himself?
Yeah, I cannot show him, so I can also not teach him. So this is something this technique you have worked. I think he has worked since he is a small boy, and it's about taking the ball after the session and then kick it. To be honest, I don't see him doing this very often, but he makes all the free kicks from the side, and he knows exactly about the way the ball has to fly. And it's I think he did a lot of practice when he was young, because now, to be honest, I don't really see him doing that very often, but I have seen so many players doing it every day after every session and never scoring. So definitely, this is what I like to see more. Going there to the free kick in the game, scoring, and that's it.
Thanks, Ralph. Good luck.
Thank you.
There is obviously a game. I know Danny Ings is going to dominate, but there is a game on Friday. If Southampton do win, they will go top of the Premier League. And if my research is right, that'll be the first time in the Premier League era that Southampton have been on top of the table. How have you got to that stage?
Ever?
In the Premier League?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you would tell me this before the season, I would also say you are a little bit stupid. But okay. Now it is like how it is in the moment. We are lucky that we play Friday evening, so we have a chance to, because otherwise we wouldn't maybe. So don't hang it too high. At first we have to win, so we are not. Let us play this game, and when we do it well, then yes. Still, if you make a picture from the table, it will not help to be in the end of the season on a good position. So let us do our job. Let us do a good game, and it's tough enough because of all the issues we have in the moment. But we must show that we can also be a successful team without a few players.
I know you won't look too far ahead, so that's why I don't want to kind of prejudge that you will be top. But how have you got yourselves into a position where you can go top? What have you done to start the season so well?
Yeah, we didn't start so well. The first 2 games were horrible, but the reaction afterwards was just in time. Important. The Burnley game was important to find the first 3 points, and then you could feel that the self-confidence was growing. And next game against West Brom at home, important win. Then against Chelsea, that we didn't lose there in the end, was very, very important for the mentality, for the character, for the belief in what we are doing. And then the next 2 games were fantastic. I mean, against the top teams like Everton and Villa, they have been unbeaten or nearly unbeaten until that moment we played against them. To win there is not easy, but shows us that if on a good day we don't have to be scared about every opponent. And this is a good feeling for the guys, a good feeling for us as a staff member, and we can look positive in the future. But we must know we are only strong when we definitely do what we need to do as a team. That we are better committed than the opponent with very good mentality. I think in the last game the mentality was different. We were absolutely focused immediately, very clinical in the finish, and then you can also win such a game. And it was definitely a tough one.
Thank you, Ralph. Good luck for Friday.
Good luck.
Okay, we'll go to Tom Crocker at the Echo.
Morning, Ralph.
Morning.
Morning. You mentioned just quickly on the injuries there, just on a couple who missed last week. Obviously, Moose was back on the bench, but Mo, Salisu and Will Smallburn, are they back okay now? Been training as normal?
Further in the development, but still not available for Friday.
Okay.
So,
and
yeah.
And just someone else who's missed out on the squad in the past 2 weeks, Michael Obafemi. I guess with Ings' injury, it might be a chance for him to get back in. But what's his sort of reaction been like? Because he was generally a regular in the squad in the last couple of games. He's not been involved.
Yeah, others have been better. So simple as this. If you know me as a coach, then you know that for me the form is more important than the talent. And when somebody shows me more in the sessions, then I'm always keen to take him and give him a chance. I mean, when you see our actual squad, there are 7-8 players. When I was coming or during I'm here, so there have been moments where they haven't been selected for the squad at all. And this is tough, but they know when they show up, they have always a chance to come back. And this is, I think, the best you can give as a manager, to give everybody a neutral chance to show up. And when you're good and when you're better at that moment, then you get the chance to play, then you must show up.
Just on Michael, I mean, obviously he had some big moments for you last season, some big goals, but this season he's lost his place in the Ireland squad and only plays 19 minutes for you, I think it is. I mean, he's still only 20 years old. You see him every day. What have you made of his sort of development this season compared to maybe what he was doing last season?
No, but the problem with Michael was always then when he played one good game, then fall a little bit back and was not professional enough to force to keep my position in the team, in the sport. And this makes the other one too easy to go above him. And I think this is what he must learn. Once in the squad, it's not so. Don't give it so easy away and try to be aggressive and dangerous in front of the goal. And I think this is something he then misses. But he's young. He still has to learn a lot. And this is kind of mentality. But this is also kind of quality.
Just finally, you mentioned Jake Vaughan is out. Can you confirm what the injury is with him? Is he out for a long time? Is he? What's the problem with him?
Oh, he has pain on his knee, on his left knee, and it causes him problems when he shoots or passes the ball. We'll have a look. He will try this week also, but still didn't train for 1.5 weeks now. It would be difficult for the weekend, I think.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. Best of luck Friday. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Duncan at the Sun. Duncan, if you just come off mute.
Sorry, you just transferred me. Sorry, Ralph, you just transferred me. I didn't hear that. You could go top, but do you think Saints have gone under the radar this season a little bit? All the attention's been on other sides, but there's quality in Southampton, isn't there?
Yeah, this is good. But we are a little bit under the radar. Keep on doing this, because we don't need to be in the focus, because it doesn't make the the daily work easier if you're on the focus and go in a weekend as a, I don't know, leader of the table. It's not necessary for me to be in the focus, to be honest. It's good when we're always a little bit under the radar. I like it, to be honest.
When you assess this season, though, clearly it's not a normal season at the moment. Do you sniff an opportunity to actually push, maybe look top 8, top 6 even?
We have played now 7 games, so from a very, very long season. I have seen so many teams in the beginning of the season being top of the table and near the top and then relegating. So let us only, we know things can change so quick. A few injuries or something like that can change everything so quick. So take it as a signal that we in a moment are a very strong side and that we showed again that we can have a high level of performing. But there's no guarantee that it goes on for the whole season. Definitely there are teams out there that have much more opportunities, a bigger squad, and more quality on every position. They can put two first squads on the pitch without problems, I think. Yeah, so we cannot compare them to us. So we have definitely different targets to go. For us, it's a success if we are top of the on top half of the table. So we have different targets, but that doesn't mean that we don't want to win against these teams if we have the chance to. So we go in every game to be successful. And the good thing in the moment is for me that we show this mentality much more. Yeah, I was before I was coming here, I was working in a team where losing was nearly not allowed because we wanted to be top in Germany. And this mentality I try to implement from the first day that I'm here, that we go out of this atmosphere of confident. It's not confident for me if I'm always on the bottom of the table and struggling for staying in the league. This is not what we want to have in the future. And I think the guys now, we have a good mentality now in the team. We have a mentality of I sometimes call it we like to be the pirate. It's more fun than to join the Navy. So it's definitely something what we can use every day and makes fun to go and grab some points from the big teams. Why not?
Thanks, Ralph. Good luck.
Thank you.
Go to Tom Leach at Hampshire Live.
Hello, Ralph. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello. You just said how important it is for other players to give you alternatives with Danny Ings out. Do you feel the spotlight maybe shifts slightly now to Che Adams? And do you think it could be a blessing that in his last 3 games, were that goal given at Villa, it would have been 3 goals in 3 games? He's maybe hit form at kind of the right time.
Well, I mean, he was also in the focus in the last games. I think he did a fantastic job, especially in the last game. He worked so hard for the team. He has a few assists. They were important for the game. And yeah, I mean, we know about his first year here. It was not so easy for him. And it took a little bit longer to bring him to this level where he's now. He's fantastic for the guys around him. He's working hard. And now he's also scoring. But sure, when Ings is not there, there will be a different couple in front, and then we must still bring him in the perfect situation where he can also score, because he showed that he can score. And it was never important for me who scores. Yes, we have with Danny Ings an outstanding striker who scores massive goals, but for me it was more important that we have more players. They come in front of the goal and are dangerous. And I think in the last game we showed that we have also centre backs who can score, and this is a good sign, I think, and it makes us more flexible and more dangerous, I think.
One of the places the goals came from against Villa was obviously James Ward-Prowse. I mean, since Sunday, it's been nice to see pundits like Alan Shearer, Gary Lineker, Garth Brooks all praising him so highly. He's only 26. How far do you think he can take himself during the second half of his career with the quality that he's showing at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising when I say that he's one of the best midfield players in the Premier League, absolutely, because he's not only a fantastic free kicks, but he had also a massive workload every game. He can run more than any other player. He's robust, he is disciplined, he is tactical, very, very smart. And yeah, this is a not so bad combination, to be honest.
Brilliant, Ralph. Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck for Friday, sorry.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll go to Tony Banks. Tony?
I don't see and don't hear you. It's a bad combination to give an answer for whatever.
Okay, it doesn't seem to be working, Tony. So we will go to Martin Hardy.
Hello?
Oh, Tony's there.
Ah, Ralph, hi.
Who is
You,
Tony.
Tony? Okay, good.
yeah, you were talking earlier about the attitude of your players and the philosophy. I wondered if, when you first walked into Southampton, that was the first thing that struck you. You had a team with an attitude that sort of was more fear than confidence, or more, not maybe fear is a hard word, but kind of more skepticism than confidence, and that was the first thing you had to change.
Yeah, but it was not so surprising when you see the history before. I think they had 3 times, 3 seasons fighting for relegation, so it's normal that they have not the biggest confidence and you are not believing in what in your strength. And to be honest, we had also times where we really struggled when I was here, so it was always a up and down, never consistent. We were always looking, we had 2 good games and then we fall back in some behaviors. And this is the reason why we are now always a little bit careful of how we see our performances, because it is not good for us when we are too enthusiastic. It's good when we are very focused and with self-confidence, believe in what we are doing, and you can feel that the guys getting better. You go in a game, you have definitely a wider spectrum of chances to be dominant. We are dominant when we don't have the ball, and we have now also a little bit of dominance when we have the ball sometimes. And this is definitely a big step forward, and it was the goal. And the players showed that they want to go this way with us. And it's no question about any limits we want to give ourselves. We want to be as strong as possible, and we need games against strong teams to get better and to learn and to be critical with ourselves. And we have been always critical, and I think this helps us now, because we are still not happy if we fall up and then play 4-3. So it's still an atmosphere of I was okay, but we can do it much better. And this, as long as it's like this, I think we never stop learning, and we never stop working on us.
And one other thing, you mentioned when we first started that some of the tackling at Aston Villa was pretty brutal, and you sounded like you were unhappy with that. And in particular, I'm thinking with Ings, do you think that teams have started to maybe target him? Because he's obviously a dangerous player for you. Do you think teams are trying to or starting to physically target him?
No, but I think Villa was aggressive on this day, and against every player. I've seen a tackle against Ings, against Browsey also, cash in the first half. So I think there were some tough duels, but we are also not always friendly to them. So try to be.
Okay.
It's Premier League. I mean, to be honest, when you want to be successful, you must be, a team that can also stand this tacklings and for your side also be not always nice.
Thanks, Ralph.
Okay, we'll go to Martin Hardy.
Good morning, Ralph.
Good morning.
Is this a season perhaps when a Pirates could win the Premier League like Leicester did in 2016?
I don't know. Normally not. So I think this will not happen very often anymore in the future, but you never know. There are some teams in the front now. They have, had a good start, but not more. It's a long season, and this is why I like such. For me, the Premier League title is always, or a league title is higher rated for me than a Champions League title, because you have to have a consistent season over 12 months and weekend to weekend, sometimes 2 times a week, show unbelievable level to win this league. And in the end, the team that is in front really deserves to be there. And this is the reason why it is so tough for like you said, maybe a smaller club to go again for winning this league. But yeah, the nice thing is that sometimes it happens, but you don't really speak about us, to be honest. you know where we have been and where we are coming from. So it's not possible for us.
Is an example of that perhaps then Danny Ings is irreplaceable for you, whereas Man City have Aguero and Torres and Gabriel Jesus. That depth is perhaps what stops a Southampton looking to achieve that.
Yeah, I mean, also they are sometimes a little struggling when they miss one or two players with fantastic quality. I think for us, a shorter term injury is good to handle. ACL, for example, out for half a year would be horrible for us. So we are happy, to be honest, that it is not worse. Could be also worse. And so 4 to 6 weeks and 2 weeks international break is definitely something we must handle.